What's up, guys? This is Anthony.
And I'm Kevin. How you doing?
And we're with Trophy Kings, and we're doing our first roundtable discussion. And Kevin, you wanted to talk about Skyrim today.
Yes. From what we've been able to read, there's not a whole lot out. They've given some gameplay trailer and some screenshots. All I really want to say is it looks like, at least as far as graphics go, it's something that Elder Scrolls fans have been waiting for.
And I never actually played Oblivion. A lot of people make fun of me because I haven't played Oblivion, but you haven't played Devil May Cry, so
I started playing last night.
You did start playing. I feel like I should pick up Oblivion before I look at picking up Skyrim. But I did take a look at the trailer. It does look pretty sweet. It does look like they've done a lot.
The graphics look just superb compared to. I mean, Morrowind, the graphics of course were but at that time, and then Oblivion, it was still better than Morrowind, at least as for definitely on draw distance. But it was good gameplay, which let us kind of look over the graphics and go, well, it's not a big deal. But Skyrim just looks phenomenal.
And as long as they have the storyline to back it up, I mean, that was the big thing about Oblivion. It was very heavily story based. There was so much to do.
The side quest for everything, which I haven't made it past the second Oblivion gate because all I've done on and off of playing it is just do side quests, and I'm at least 95% of the side quests are done on my game.
And that's fair enough. The other thing I wanted to discuss today was they announced Battlefield 3 a while ago when they released Medal of Honor. EA said, look, if you buy Medal of Honor, we will allow you into the beta of Battlefield 3.
Which I didn't know, so my pleasant surprise when he reminds me you're going to have it, and I just about shat myself.
DICE seems to be doing a really good job of catering to their core Battlefield fans. They have come out and announced on the PC it will be 64-player multiplayer.
Strike It Karkin map pack if you pre-order. You can purchase later.
Correct, but that will be for, if PC. I'm not mistaken, the map pack is going to be released for all systems.
Oh, well, honestly, I don't care. They've done such a great job. I couldn't be happier.
And that was the other thing. Recently at the GDC, the Game Developers Conference, they showed the first gameplay trailer, and it looks incredible. It looks like exactly what they said. It looks like exactly what they wanted for a true sequel to Battlefield. The graphics are absolutely phenomenal. They've completely overdone the
Frostbite.
The Frostbite 2 engine.
Right?
Yeah, the Frostbite 2 engine. They've completely overdone the collapsible buildings, the destructible buildings.
They put in prone for this one.
They did. They did.
A lot of people aren't. From me telling, a lot of people aren't happy.
A lot of people are not happy with prone, but a lot of times they talk about how, well, when you're prone, you can't move and shoot. And from what it looks like from the gameplay trailers is when you're prone, you probably won't have the same accuracy, but he does still, instead of doing the gun across your chest and crawling, he does hold the gun up in front of him, which makes me think that you will be able to shoot.
This, and then crawling?
No, he holds the assault rifle in front of him like that, and he crawls.
Oh, okay.
So he's like that, and so it looks like you will be able to shoot, but you probably won't be as accurate unless you're just staying still.
The thing is if I'm in prone, I'm going to imagine that of course the biggest amount of people that are going to get any use out of prone are snipers, and if you're a sniper, you need to be in a good enough spot where somebody isn't going to come looking for you.
Correct. But that was one of the big complaints is Battlefield Bad Company 2, which granted is not the true Battlefield sequel, it's a whole spin-off. A lot of people were like, well, it's already a sniper battle, so if you add prone, you're just adding into that sniper thing. But, I mean, it's kind of a give and take. If you're prone, you don't have the maneuverability of somebody who's running, so if you're good enough at running gunning, you should have no problem catching up and sneaking up on a sniper.
And then Bad Company 2, I mean, when you and I were playing, when we were running around, you might take up sniper, but I might every now and again, but I like to just run in and just shoot. Not as bad as maybe Call of Duty Black Ops, but I want to get down in the meat of the action. And I seem to be able to find cover all right. There were other snipers covering me. It's team based, and I think as long as you have well, you don't have douchebags on your team. I think it'll be all right.
And I think that's the other thing is they're sticking with a 4-class system. You have your machine gun, your heavy machine, or your medic. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of different games.
It's okay.
You have your medic, you have your engineer, you have your I believe it's the Spec Ops. I believe that's what they're called, and then you have your recon class, which is the sniper class.
They kind of went the Battlefield 2142 route where they had. When the Spec Ops expansion for Battlefield 2 came out, it came out with the Spec Ops class, and I thought there was one other one, but I could possibly be wrong. But for 2142, they collapsed them into each other, so it was sort of within this different character class, you had a whole other character class you could do. So it kind of compacted it, and you can kind of get a little bit more for your character instead of having to be strictly one thing. It made you a little bit more versatile.
Okay. Well, again, the only Battlefield games I ever played was Battlefield Bad Company, and it's not a true sequel, but I am looking at getting into the Battlefield 2, not only because Battlefield 3, I'm sorry, not only because I am a huge first-person shooter fan, but also because it looks like such a beautiful game.
It does. I'm sorry to interrupt. You said that they were trying to do not necessarily crisis pushing graphics, but kind of
from what I've read and from what it seems like is they're really. I mean, you can have a lower end PC or a mid range PC and still run the game absolutely fine, but if you are on the highest settings, you will need the best equipment that money can buy.
See, and I misunderstood. I thought I was going to have issues. I'm like, oh, great, I already upgraded a little bit. I'm going to have to go and put more in it.
And see, I think I misled you when we were talking about that earlier. That's what I understood at first, but as I read a little bit further, it seemed to clarify a little bit. I know that if you're looking for a lot of information on this game, Game Informer really is. They scooped the game. They were the ones that kind of
the first one, didn't they?
They were the first ones that in their edition of the magazine of Game Informer magazine, they were the ones that kind of scooped the game out from everybody. IGN, Joystick, but that's where I've been going for a lot of my information. I know that GDC was just around the corner, so a lot of things came out. GDC is going on right now, so I know a lot of things came out at that as far as information wise. Sticking with the first person shooter, another unique one that I'm looking forward to is Brink. Brink is the free run parkour.
With more guns.
It's Mirror's Edge with more guns. That's a good analogy. I like that. It's the one that's really focused on parkour. They're using what they're calling the SMART technology, which is smooth movement over random terrain, or across random terrain rather. And that's really, if you're looking up and you approach something, your character will automatically jump up. If you're looking down, then your character will slide under it. It looks like it could be very interesting the way they kind of tie in the guns where you can kind of slide and shoot. And so it puts a whole new spin on the first-person shooter genre. The other thing they have is you can change your class on the fly as long as you find these terminals. It allows you to go in and change your class, change your weapons.
Seems kind of like the midway terminals or partway terminals from Bulletstorm where you can reload.
Right.
Okay.
Something like that. But it's like the whole class system. The other thing they're doing, really focusing on, is combining the single-player campaign with the multiplayer campaign, and it all fits together. One of the big things that they're talking about was it's very reminiscent of their previous game, which was Enemy Territories. And in Enemy Territories, all of the maps, all of the campaign was unlocked in the very beginning. But it all depends on how you play it. And each faction, you have the rebels. Now I can't think of their name off the top of my head. And then you have the police force. And each faction has its own branch off campaigns that are specific to that faction. I think they're calling them what if campaigns.
Sort of kind of like on the Transformers War for Cybertron you play through is Decepticons and the Autobots. They each have their own separate yet tying in missions, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and then they're having the what if campaigns, and it's like, well, what if the security force got a nuclear weapon and they actually used it? and they don't affect the main storyline. They're more just
have fun.
Yeah, have fun. This is what would have happened if it played out like this. And I thought that was kind of an interesting idea, just to have that kind of, well, you're playing this multiplayer game, and there's no clear-cut winner, because it's not like, if you play it like this, well, then that is the obvious outcome. These are like what-if campaigns, like what if it happened differently, which I thought was kind of an interesting, neat idea.
And you know quite a bit more of Brink than I do, but you've also been torturing yourself for...
I have. Brink is the game. When I saw the trailer for Brink, it was intense. It was action-packed. It was everything that I've always wanted to do in a first-person game. I hate those games where you run up to a railing and your guy just stops, and it's like, really?
You're tapping X and he's just not...
You really can't climb over this. It's not like there's a whole lot there.
No, and that's I loved Mirror's Edge, and I think you liked it, but it wasn't.
It wasn't my cup of tea, because it's a platformer. It's jumping, running. It's that.
Leave Mario out of this.
Yeah, okay.
No, see, I really liked it because of how new it was, and the fact that there really hadn't been at least a first-person version. I mean, I played the crap out of the Prince of Persia games, and it was great. There were guns in it a little bit, but the way that game played, it felt like obviously guns weren't their main focus, and that was just clear. But I did so many speed runs through, downloaded maps, that sort of thing. I loved it. So to see Brink, like, oh yeah, we're taking that and putting a lot more guns in. It's going to be gritty, and it's one of those things that's awesome. I couldn't ask for anything else. I mean, I think there was a free development, or it was developed for free. It was a game creator, you had told me about it, where it was for PC only, and you could kind of jump off walls and do all this crazy stuff. This would have been like last year.
I don't remember, but it's very possible.
It was developed just for free. Some guy having fun, and it was a third person. But it was the same sort of thing where you could kind of jump off things and just do.
No, that was Bob. He was telling us about that. It was a shooter.
Bob is our third person. He was not able to make it for this.
Yeah, he'll be here. He'll be here next time. But as far as closing remarks, since we are running out of time, I will say this: at one point, I had told you that EA had trashed the Mirror's Edge game, the sequel.
Yes, you did.
Because they were trying to give money to DICE.
Did they?
The most recent thing that I read on Joystick was that they're trying to find a way to bring it back. They're trying to come up with new ideas so that it can be its own game. It can be as groundbreaking as it was the first time.
See, when you told me that they were going to cancel Mirror's Edge 2 to concentrate on Battlefield 3, it was
a bittersweet.
It was a double-edged sword. It's like, damn. But for me, man, this lighting is not good for my pale skin.
Stop putting your hand out there.
I'm sorry. But, I mean, still look. But I thought, well, I'd rather play Battlefield 3 because Brink is coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see it's coming back, but I definitely hope it's not at the cost of any other game. Well, besides anything that's really crappy.
Right.
Like
My
Little Princess.
That's it for us for this episode. If you have any requests for topics you'd like us to discuss, or if there's anything else you'd like us to discuss, or if you'd like to see a different background or different lighting,
we thought this would really kind of taste the place up.
Send us an email, trophykings@gmail.com, and let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to hear about, and we will do what we can to get it up there.
And hopefully we'll be talking about Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword next. I'm excited.
Thank